Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 567 of the Two Dumb Yinzes. I would just want to say to everybody, welcome back. How you guys doing today?
Amazing, awesome, wonderful. It's hump day. What's not to be excited about?
What happened? Derby was just here. Is he, no.
Literally, he was just here and he just said, "That's Hollywood Derpy for you." He pieces out whenever he feels like it.
Now that I seen him, so I threw about three things together here real quick because
Yeah,
he's here.
yeah.
Listen. I'm not going to go on about Derby, but he was here. He was here for
He
15
was here.
minutes.
He was here. Then he's gone, and I don't know how to act now without Derpy.
Hollywood Derby.
Hollywood Derpy. He'll come back. We'll hear the fire alarm going off and smoke detector, whatever you want to call it.
Um, Good morning, everybody. Pirates won, so I'm gonna give them a little bit here and let them poke their head up in the first class, but don't get too familiar with it. I'm still not too thrilled with this team, but Mike, there was a couple of things that happened during yesterday's game that we just got to talk about.
Yes.
Uh,
Where to
there's so
start with
there's
this
so many
team?
things because
Yeah.
in the first inning, Hunter Green that just blew through our lineup last time we played him last week. I mean, he blew through the lineup.
Yeah, he looks
We
like Cy Young candidate.
we couldn't hit him, but something interesting happened. And the funny thing was, I mean, they showed it on TV. I mean, there's supposed to be a delay, 7 seconds, give or take, but everybody got to see it. There's pictures of it. Hunter Green, right before facing Brian Reynolds in the first inning, what's the nicest way to put this? He threw up
He,
everywhere.
yeah, he.
he,
I saw it on
he
Twitter
tossed
as yeah,
tossed chunks.
yeah. At that point I wasn't watching the game and I was just on my phone outside and all I see is one of the guys from Pittsburgh was like, "Oh man, Hunter Green pulled a Lawrence Timmons." At first, I read it as a Lawrence Taylor. I thought he was either doing coke or broke someone's leg. Then I saw the video. I'm like, "Oh yeah, he Ralphed all over the place. He was,
Ralph, that's a good word.
yeah, he Ralphed. He had a nice
Upchucked.
upchucked.
There was this guy I knew from New
He
York. Mike used to.
rallied.
This guy I knew from New York used to say tossing your cookies.
Yeah, I've heard that
Have
one.
you heard
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I've heard that one.
Which I'm
Tossing
not
your
for at
cookies.
all.
No, that sounds something different.
Yeah.
Like something different.
Sounds like something different that I do. Oh boy.
That only happened one time in college. I swear.
But the thing about this, Mike, it was actually it's all right, listen to this. So Hunter Green yesterday in the first inning, he throws up on the mound against first pitch, and then Brian Reynolds takes him deep. Okay.
Yeah.
Brian Reynolds, with that being said, did expand his hitting streak to 22 games. We'll get back to that in a moment. So he throws up, starts the pitch, gets taken deep by Brian Reynolds. Now, with that being said, which I got some more to say about this puking, but give me a second. Take this back a little bit further, and then we're going to take it forward a little bit further.
Oh,
Let me start with the forward and move my way back.
okay.
So later on in the game, the fifth inning, there was a pitcher that come in. Let me find it. I know I have it here somewhere. This pitcher
Farmer.
come in. His last name is Farmer. Yeah, but I got to look for the numbers. Relax.
All right.
Um. Okay, so Farmer in the fifth inning, as he's getting ready to pitch, and it wasn't even made a point. It was just something that I caught while I was watching the game. He drops the ball.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cueto.
So he drops the ball,
Cueto.
goes, picks it up, goes back and pitches. Later that inning, not the next guy, but later that inning, Jared Triolo hits a home run. So now,
Ooh.
with that being said, he drops the ball. Triolo hits a home run that inning. Rewind. Hunter Green throws up on the mound. Brian Reynolds hits a home run that inning. Now go back to October 1st, 2013. Johnny Cueto drops the ball, and the very next batter goes yard. What is it with these Reds pitchers with their pre pitch blunders on the hill against the Pirates that lead to a home run every single time something happens. Again, Cueto dropped his balls. Everybody remembers that. Hunter Green throws up on the bump yesterday. And then in the fifth inning, Farmer drops the ball. All three of these guys, Mike, same inning, all give up home runs to Pirates. What the hell is going on?
I don't know, but I kind of like it. I'm glad this is like something that I fear the Buccos pitching staff would be known for, and I'm glad it's the Reds pitching staff who's known for throwing up, dropping balls, and then serving up jacks. I wish it happened more often for the Buccos because our offense needs all the help it can get. I'm glad the Reds, we're trying to be helpful for us. I appreciate that, but my God, that is just wild.
How
That,
bizarre.
yeah, and Reds fans got to be thinking, why us? Why is it always got to be us when shit like this happens?
Yeah.
And why does it have to happen to the Pirates? I'm glad it's another team on the end of this, not us. But that is funny.
That does seem like a stat that we
Yeah,
would be able to carry.
yeah, because I knew Triolo hit the home run. I didn't know the guy dropped the ball. Now you put all three together. This is great.
And on top of that, I'm sorry, Farmer. Hunter Green gave up 6 runs in this game. This
I
is a
love it.
guy that we couldn't touch last week.
No,
So, whatever was up with this dude, he wasn't on his top and wasn't on top of his
no,
game.
no. He was under the weather. I mean, that's why he's up there, tossing cookies.
But it was very hot, and I can understand. I mean,
Yeah.
we're going to football and things like this when it was still hot. A lot of
Mhm.
guys throwing up.
Yeah, thinking
But
you're hydrated enough and you're not.
so that was good. That was so far so good for these Pirates. Hunter Green throws up, serves up a home run. Fifth inning, Farmer drops the ball. He serves up a home run. We have a whole thing going on here with these Reds pitchers.
Just keep it up, Cincinnati. We appreciate it.
I remember this one. You want to hear a funny throw up story real quick?
Always.
I remember being in shop class. We were probably in 10th grade. And this girl, we called her Stinky. I mean, she didn't know we called her Stinky, but she was an undesirable. If you want to
Yeah.
get an idea of where I'm going. So one day we were in shop class and the teacher was doing a what's it called? Like when they do it first and everyone watches
Demonstration.
a demonstration. He was doing a demonstration, and all the kids in the class, I'd say probably about 20 kids, were all gathered around this one shop type table. And we were probably even about 3 or 4 of my friends. We talked this one dude into going over and talking to Stinky, right?
Yeah.
While this demonstration was going on. So my friend this guy finally decides to go over and talk to Stinky, just out of fun because we're ragging on him. You won't do this. So he goes over. I mean, we're all losing it anyway. He's walking around all the people. He gets to the other side. I kid you not. Stinky starts tossing cookies. She puts her hand up over her mouth,
Oh,
Mike, and she starts tossing cookies, and all
yeah.
this fucking vomit's coming out between her fingers everywhere. And
Mm,
talking about it couldn't happen any better. Mike, he walked around all the people, got to the other side of the table, was standing as close as you and I appear to be on the screen
yeah.
from her. She puts her hand over her mouth. She doesn't acknowledge that he's doing this.
Yeah.
Puts her hand over her mouth, Mike, and she starts throwing up everywhere, shooting out between all of her fingers. He comes flying back over on our side. It's like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? And we're laughing. Everybody's. So
Yeah.
then she's so embarrassed. The girl, Stinky, and I highly doubt Stinky's watching this show to this
I
day,
hope
but
not.
if
I
she
hope
is,
not.
I'm not talking about you if you think that this is you, Stinky. So Stinky was so embarrassed. She runs out of the room with her hands and grabs the handle of the door. So now we're stuck in the shop.
Oh, no.
You got 20 kids in shop class. We're stuck because Stinky grabbed the door handle and turned it as she was running out after she threw up in her hand, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah. She probably heard you all calling her stinky and laughing at you, and that she's like, "This is gonna be my revenge. I'm gonna purposely throw up on my hands, run out there, and smear it on the door so they're trapped."
And I just remember everybody was so appalled. They're like, "Oh, I hope she's okay." But dude,
Yeah,
me and my 3 buddies that were in there. We were just laughing because what's the chances dude would go over to talk to her and she would throw up
yeah.
all over the
That
place? I mean,
is perfect timing.
oh,
That
it
is
was classic. I'll never forget that moment as long as I live. And I'm sure
that.
Stinky won't either.
I was stuck in the shop class with these assholes. So
Yeah.
I just threw up all over the place because they stunk.
And you know how it was, and they're doing a demonstration. There's literally nothing to do besides stand there and do nothing. And that's when we
Yep.
talked to him and we're like, go, just go talk to Stinky. Just go talk to her. And he
Yeah.
finally said, okay. And she threw up everywhere. So
Oh,
that'll always make it worth it. It'll always be a memory. Just like
yes.
Johnny Cueto dropping his balls, just like Hunter Green throwing up on the hill,
Yes.
and just like Farmer dropping his balls on the hill, all three giving up home runs. Let's get into some Pirate talk, Mike.
Let's
The
do it.
Pittsburgh Pirates, they now this is where I get so schizophrenic and weird about the Pirates because now I'm back into it. Yesterday I wanted these guys gone. I wanted them dead. I didn't want to have
Yep.
anything to do with them. They get a win out, and they pull me back in. So this is just me. This is the way it goes. Pirates, they beat the Reds 9-5. The Pirates are now 38-41. The Reds dropped to 37-42. The division looks like this. Milwaukee sits atop the division. St. Louis, second place, 5.5 out. Pirates, third place, 8.5 games out, 2.5 out of the wild card. They're losing ground in that wild card spot. I don't like this. Cincinnati is now 9.5 out in fourth place. I'm sorry, that's the yeah, and then the Cubs are 10 games out, last place. The Cubs. Pirates beat the Reds in the hit battle. Pirates get 10 hits, the Reds get 9. So everything I said yesterday, it's almost like they know because everything I complain about, they go out that night and fix, it seems like. So we had to complain about them, in depth
Mm.
every single day and see if they get better because Mike, every single thing that I bitched about yesterday got better. A flash to Les
Hmm.
stealing bases.
Oh, wow. I know that was like they didn't even bother throwing. That's how fast he got over there.
I mean, he's got to be the slowest guy in the league.
Oh yeah.
So flash to Les, he steals a base. Brian Reynolds gets a home run in his first at
Yep.
bat. Now he's 22 games straight. And I
Have it.
got between
His
those
batting.
two, yeah,
I was gonna say his batting average is up to 280, which is where I like to see that. It's he is
you're
just on
getting
a
paid
hot
that
streak.
money. This is
Yep.
where you should be.
Yep.
And how you so bad for 2 months and then come and do this? I don't get it. I get being on, I
Yeah.
get being off, I get being streaky, but this is freakish. I mean,
Yeah.
these guys haven't done
Hmm.
anything for 2 months. Some of these guys.
Yeah.
Now that this
It,
guy's on a 22 game hitting streak, flash to Les. Come on, what's going on, Mike?
I don't know. It reminds me, like McCutcheon was like that back in the day when he had his MVP seasons and battling for him. Like, oh well, he really doesn't start playing well until May, the end of May. Like, oh, why can't you do that from day one?
Right.
And that it's going to help you and your team. It just frustrates me when people go, oh well, some guys are slow starters. No. How
They
about you
should
just? I hope just start fast, start
yeah,
well.
they should weed out the slow starters and make the
But
league
you
a
know
bunch
what?
of
I'm not going to complain right now because Brian Reynolds is playing the way I want Brian Reynolds to play and the way he wants to play. And this is why, the Bucco fans wanted to keep him around and not trade him. And he's playing
they
like he
wanted him to
should,
get
and he
paid
should
because they
be
would like him to play the way he's playing right
playing right
now
now.
more
Yeah.
often.
Yeah.
They don't want
And
to pay him just to play like this in June.
no, I want a consistent performance. You're not going to be able to do this night in, night out the way he's going, but there's no reason he shouldn't be consistently batting 280.
With that being said, he's done this night in, night out through the whole entire month. There was
Yeah.
not one night
Yeah.
that he couldn't that he hasn't had a hit yet. And
You know,
my guess was tonight. I think tonight's going to be the night that it breaks. Last night you thought it was the night that it was going to break, but I believe it's going to be
yeah.
tonight.
No, I'm
You
going
know
back
what?
on it. He's going to for a 30-game hitting streak now after that win last night.
You know
I'm
what?
back in with the Pirates, baby.
And I do have to correct myself. It is a 110 game. So the game is not tonight. The game is about an hour after this show's over.
Oh, it's afternoon. Wow.
Yes, it is a 110. It's game 3 of 3. It's the rubber match between the Pirates and the Reds. It is a 110 start today. If you're able to watch that or have a radio or the internet or whatever nearby, the Buccos, they are going back at it today in the rubber match against the Reds to try to win this series. Like they've only lost 2 series in a month of June. One was the Cardinals. The other was the last series we just played.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Brian Reynolds hit the ball every single he hit safe in every game in June.
He's played like every day this month as well, I believe.
He plays all yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He
This
plays
guy,
a lot of baseball, which like why can't a lot of these guys play a lot of baseball? That's what's annoying. I don't know.
I got a theory. I have a theory because Brian Reynolds is plays and come on, Rowdy Telez. Let's face it, this guy. Okay, so here's my theory. I have a theory that Brian Reynolds and Rowdy Tellez got a hold of the roids and they're not sharing with anybody else.
You know what? That's smart. You don't want to cause too much suspicion.
Because who would expect Rowdy Tellez to be, playing hot baseball? I mean, that's
Exactly.
enough
You know,
suspicion for me.
this is good. This is veteran leadership at its finest from Rowdy Tellez. You don't jump into David Bednar's post game press conference. You get the roids. You give them to the best player. You give a little to yourselves, and you don't let it get around because you don't want the rest of the team to look suspicious. I like it. Maybe next month it'll be someone else's turn. We'll just keep spreading around month by month.
Whatever they're doing,
This is a smart move by
I wish
Rowdy
they would knock
Tellez.
it off. I'm going to be honest with you, Mike, because I wish they would share it with everybody else.
Yeah,
There's
no,
no
just keep it
reason.
sprinkled around. We
There's
don't
no
want
reason not to share the roids with
no.
Grandel and
We don't no. If Grandel starts going out there and starts playing well, this whole team's getting drug tested.
But that's my
Maybe
theory because
maybe he can give some roids and that will cause O'Neal Cruz not to have more throwing errors.
that's my theory because these Pirates they've been playing pretty consistent except for the play of Brian Reynolds and Rowdy Tellez, who after last night's stolen base is now Flash Tellez.
The Flash, baby.
Come on. So
Like I didn't see any video except for him like just standing at second base. So in my eyes, he teleported from first to second. He didn't run.
there's no
He
actual evidence
teleported.
that
No,
took
he
place.
just appeared at second base. I'm like, what the hell just happened here?
Well, let me. Gets a little bit more interesting. Let me give you some offensive numbers from the
All right,
game.
yeah. Let's hear him. Let's hear him.
Well, let's start with the best. The best hitter of the day was Nick Gonzalez, who goes 3 for 4.
Oh, he needed that, man. He needed that big time.
He got a run and RBI, 3 for 4. The next best was Rowdy Tellez. He went 2 for 4 with 2 runs, 1 RBI, and 1 walk. Brian Reynolds goes 2 for 5 with 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and 1 homer. The following hitters all had 1 hit. O'Neal Cruz, who had a he stole home, basically stole home on that play where it wasn't a steal, but he caught the defense off guard. He was able to score, I believe, and put the Pirates up 6-0 on a play where he was at third base. Play should have been over. The pitcher should have had the ball on the hill. They weren't quite paying attention, and O'Neal Cruz makes it home and scores. And also Mike Olivares has a hit, and Triolo, whose 1 hit was a home run. He had 2 RBIs and a run. So the Pirates, what happened? What happened last night? What happened yesterday that they out hit the Reds?
I
What happened last night that they put up 9 runs? What happened last night that they failed to do every time you watch this team and it seems like 20 of the 27 outs are strikeouts?
uh we actually had a pretty legitimate lineup out there. Kutch, Reynolds, Cruz, Tellez, Olivares, Gonzalez. That's a nice little lineup right there. Sprinkle in Grandel and Taylor in there. But
And Taylor even had a hit.
I know. I thought the world was going to come to an end, but then he had to have an error in there to not get expectations too high. But I don't know, man. It was just a nice bounce back game for him. It's one they needed. I kind of thought they were going to choke it away. Once the score started to creep back up, but this team played well. Tip of the cap to them. The guys who needed to play well are playing well. Hopefully, last game was just a little blip on the radar. We win today. Take another series because, like I said, this team is not going to have a nice 10, 12, 15 game winning streak. So I'll win a handful of series. Win 5 out of 6 series. I'll take that.
So let's say they win today, which is a very, very difficult thing for the Pirates to do in their third
Oh God, yeah.
series deciding game. They're very bad at this game. So, and it's not going to get anything easier. I'm going to just get that in just a second. But the Pirates, Mike, you know what? Let me get to that now.
Let's get to it now.
Well, the starting pitching is going to be this: Luis Ortiz,
Yeah,
versus Graham Ashcraft. Ashcraft.
yeah, but
So
it's not going to be a pitcher's duel.
Luis Ortiz comes in with a 3-2 record, 3.45 ERA, and 36 strikeouts on the season. Graham Ashcraft comes in with a 4-3 record of 5.05 and 49 strikeouts on the season. You're thinking a guy comes in with a 5 ERA The Pirates should be okay.
It should be. He's given up 70 hits in 62 innings. Ashcraft has
I
nine
like
home
that.
runs. So, like, it, on paper, it looks like we should be able to hit him. He's a righty. We should be able to just hit him hard and hit him often.
And I don't know when all these guys are coming back, but you have a you have a group of guys that are getting healthy at the right time here, getting ready to, less than a month will be in the All Star break. And I do want to mention after today's game, they have the day off tomorrow, and then they go down to Atlanta for a 3 game series. And game one of Atlanta is the 81st game of the season. Like
Halfway, baby.
as Derpy always says, 162. The halfway point will be Friday night against the Braves. That'll be game 81. So you'd like to close off the first half of the season on a high note because look,
Yeah.
they're 38 and 41. If you win today, and let's just say you could go to Atlanta and win a game one down there, you're sitting at 40 and 41. Not much off of what you would expect a Pirates team to be at the beginning of July. And I would say that record for the Pirates at the beginning of July is somewhat of a success.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be. And my God. Just imagine this team sitting 500. This team's getting some players back. Those players can come back and, you know, come right into the starting lineup and play well. Get the guys that are playing well now keep playing well. Add an arm or two in the bullpen. Add another legit, major league bat.
These
Ooh,
guys
wild
might be
card next year, baby.
these
Look
guys might
out. It
be a
might be
whole game and
ours.
a half over 500 before
I
you know it.
know, but that's why I'm saying wild card next year might be ours. It's just, it's hard to get excited with this team, but, you live and die with baseball every game. You know, it's like yesterday we were down because they lost. Today we're up because, they had a nice little win. So I just want them to keep it going. Keep it going. I want to be excited about this team. I told you the story off air. How many baseball games I went to as a little kid because they're the most affordable ticket in town. Yeah, my God, they've lost like 2.5 generations of fans by sucking. Come on now, get another generation back by winning.
This is what the Pirates
Spend
got to do,
money.
Mike. This is what the Pirates got to do. The hitting coach. All right.
Oh, gone. He needs to go.
Listen, the hitting coach needs to go out to the circle, the batting circle. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Okay.
be on
And
deck.
no, the batting circle or the plate is. And
Okay.
and he needs to take all the hitters, everybody who's a hitter, no pitchers, and line them in a big circle in around that batting circle. The pitch or the hitting coach, Mike, he stands in the middle near the plate with the baseball bat, and all the guys stand in a circle around him in that circle, around the circle.
Yeah.
And then that hitting coach, he needs to take that bat and start smashing himself over the head,
Ooh, I like this.
bashing his own head in. And that's it. There's no drill or nothing. This is just what
Okay.
needs to happen. He just
Yeah,
needs to take a bat and smash his own head in because how in the hell you can have a bunch of guys in the major leagues making millions of dollars and they go through a baseball game hitting like you or I do. I mean, I don't know who or what
yeah.
we're paying to keep these guys hitting well.
It's a joke.
It is a joke.
Because last year, Brian Hayes, when he was hurt and came back, he had to go outside the organization to get hitting help to get his swing back. And there were a couple other guys that had to do the same thing last year and this year. But that should tell you this guy's philosophy is not good. Like the organizational philosophy to hitting at the major league level is not good. Get rid of this guy.
One
Like
other thing, Mike,
today.
let me go back to this. Let me go back to this puke for a second. I can't stop thinking about this vomit. Did you happen to see the look on Brian Reynolds' face when Hunter Green started throwing up on the mound? Did you happen to see the look
No,
on
no,
his face? Please, if you have a way to do so.
Was it one of those like,
Well, yeah, I mean, he's in the batter's box. He's kind of doing what they do. They get in, they start,
Yeah.
tugging and grabbing.
Yeah.
And he looks up when Hunter Green's throwing up, and you see him like say something to the
Yeah.
catcher or the umpire.
Yeah.
He kind of just turned his head and he kind of just said something. But then look on his face, he's
Yeah.
just staring at this dude like, is this serious? This guy throwing up?
Right? It's like, is he good?
And then,
Hey man, go check on your boy. Call timeout.
and then they did. And matter of fact, the Brian Reynolds hits the home run. So,
I
but it was just wild. It was the same look that I can recall my friend having when Stinky threw up
like
everywhere
what the
in 10th grade. It was the same exact look, man. Same look.
maybe Stinky and Hunter Green have a relationship going on and we don't know about it.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Stinky. And also, Mike, as I was mentioning last week, the Indianapolis Indians and AAA. There, we have an Ashcraft as well. Braxton. A lot of people keeping their eye on this pitcher, Mike. He in AAA in 3 starts has a 0.59 ERA and 10 strikeouts. So just another person coming
Yeah.
on their way up through the system.
Yeah.
He threw in that game. He threw 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, no runs, no earned runs. He had a walk, had 2 strikeouts. So, and like I said, if you're watching these Indianapolis games,
Mm-hmm.
you
Just keep an
notice
eye out.
you recognize a lot of people for one. Like the other day,
Yeah.
I read the first half of their lineup. You knew everybody's name because they were Pirates. At some point, they got called up. And of course, they do have some pitching out there as well. They have pitching in Double A working its way up. You got Johnson working his way up. So, you know, one thing that you got to do is just. Well, I was thinking about the relievers the other day. They have to be real careful
Yeah.
not to pitch bad because the Yankees are always watching you if you're a Pirates pitcher. The
Oh,
Yankees are they're always watching. Like if somebody's scouting their minor league team.
mm-hmm.
So these relievers got to be careful. They don't pitch too bad because they don't want to blow their chances of being on a real team one day.
Exactly. Right. You want to make sure you can go to the actual Major League Baseball club.
Right.
You know, a team that actually spends money to win. There's a thought.
So there you go. There you go, guys. It is going to be game 3 today. Game 3 of 3. A rubber match. The Pirates could win. If the Pirates can win. If the Pirates
If
can win.
if that is a big if.
And like I said, Hunter Green came out and he stunk. And I don't know if it's because he didn't feel well. What came out of his mouth kind of looked like that. Remember in the NBA about 4 years ago, that white guy, he fell and there was like yellow liquid pouring out of his face.
Yeah, it looked like bile.
Yeah, that's exactly what came out of Hunter Green. It was wow. I have a picture. It's just a big stream of vomit. I'll
Of
send it. I'll
course
send it
you
over
would.
to you.
Of course you would. I'm surprised you didn't send it over and say, "Hey, have this ready for the show."
I should have.
That can be the thumbnail.
I was so distracted with Derpy. I didn't.
Yeah, Hollywood Derpy comes and goes.
Well,
Win a
Hollywood Derpy.
whim.
Yeah, I gotta find out what's going on with him.
Yeah. You know what? We're about to start holding auditions for a
Well, I
replacement.
don't want to say that. I just want to say that I acknowledge that he's having some issues.
Yeah.
So we will handle them accordingly, and we'll figure out
Yeah.
what's going
No.
on. But
I still got to make fun of Derpy.
oh yeah,
It's if I don't make fun of him, I think he gets worried that something's wrong.
one person I think would be a fine quarterback for this Pittsburgh Steelers team if neither Wilson or Justin Fields works out. Mike, what about Paul Skeens? Something tells me he would be just fine at quarterback.
Big old 6'7" guy back there slinging that pigskin around. Hell yeah.
Man, let's talk some Steelers.
We can see Livy Dunn at the Steeler game too.
Nope. Not gonna see her. It's Pittsburgh, baby. We don't need the bull. That's why we don't have cheerleaders.
No, we
They
need the
don't.
bullshit.
Pittsburgh doesn't play around with bullshit. And I
We
remember
need the bullshit.
we were at work. We don't need it. And I was talking to somebody at work, and they said, "You know what? Why is she not on more? I want to see her on more on TV." I said, "Because it's for the Pirates. It's Pittsburgh. We don't want the bullshit,
I want the bullshit.
and I don't think you're going to get it. You may
I
get
want,
it briefly when Taylor Swift comes to town at the end of the year and around Christmas, but I knew it wasn't going to be. I knew it wasn't going to be a circus here. I did. I knew
yeah.
Livy Dunn wasn't going to be a circus.
Well, yeah. In the media around here, just they can barely do their own jobs, let alone create a media circus.
No, they could create a circus.
Usually it's about themselves stirring up bullshit that doesn't exist.
But I don't think that she's going to be a distraction, and that's the thing. You know, listen, Kansas City, they don't have anything. Okay, they've been good for a couple years. They got a couple Super Bowls, but what do they really have in Kansas City, Missouri?
And they got Patrick Mahomes. That's about it. They got an arch.
So you
That's
got
about it.
Kansas City. I thought that was in St. Louis.
Oh yeah, you're right, St. Louis. My bad. They're so indiscernible. The Midwest, I can't tell the difference.
That is www the two dumb users slash Mike.
Yeah,
Uh,
forward all complaints about
but I do want to get into the
geographic
Steelers, Mike. We
stereotypes to
got
me.
the couple things going on here. Something that I just read last night was Broderick Jones is starting
Yes.
at left tackle entering camp, while Fatanu and Dan Moore Jr. battle it out. Mike, how's this all going to turn out when it's said and done? The end of August, we're getting ready to go into September, start the season. How do you think this offensive line looks?
Left to right, Broderick Jones, Siamalu, center,
Frazier. You think Frazier?
Frazier or Herbig, one of those two.
I think you go Frazier.
I go Frazier, then I go Daniels, and then I go Fatanu. Fatanu, he's I think he's more pro ready than Broderick Jones was. I think Broderick was more of a project last year coming out, and I think Fatano just has more experience, and he'll beat Dan Moore out at right tackle. I'm surprised they moved Dan Moore to right tackle. That's his weak side, but
But that's where they drafted
this
him.
shows that they are very very serious about getting that line set correctly. And my God, if that's your starting five, I will take it.
Mm.
Yeah, you're gonna have two rookies and a second year player, but those guys all have high potential, high pedigree, and that can be by the end of the year that could be a top five offensive line. Not like the last few years we've been saying, oh, at the end of the year, man, they'll be a middle of the pack line, maybe a little above average. I think this year they start well above average and finish as a top five offensive line.
If you expect Zach Frazier to be your center for the next your
Yeah,
long
you
term
start them
center,
right away.
you got to get him in right away. You can't play games. You can't have him back there behind Nate Herbig. Get the guys ready, get to camp, get them ready to play football. And what they come out and they do is what they come out and do. I don't think that you should be able you should do that to your center. I just don't. So I agree. I think it's going to be that same exact line that you said, Mike. I think that that's best case
Mhm.
scenario, and I think that that's what people expected. You drafted Broderick Jones to be your left tackle. He's a big guy over there. Get him in there. Let's do
Yeah,
this.
I prefer him more at right. I think he's a better run blocker than pass blocker. And I think Fatanu can play both sides. So,
But
but
we've only seen Fatanu in the college. You
yep,
know what I mean? And
that's
in
true. Yep.
college, uh,
Yeah, you can look like a world beater, and then you get into the pros, and then you get
right,
exposed.
because Broderick Jones looked dominant in college, and he comes to the pros, and you got to make that adjustment.
Yep.
So I like it, Mike. I like those five.
Hmm.
I think that that's how it should play out. And at the end of next year, maybe if Dan Moore is not around after when free agency comes, then maybe address that position maybe in the second or third round of the draft next year and go from there. But you're gonna have a young line after this
Yeah.
season, like,
Yeah. And
and if they grow up together and they play together and
hmm
become a line together,
I like it.
those are
Yeah.
the lines that are always the most effective.
Yeah. And I know James Daniels' contract comes up in the end of the year. I'd love to see him re-signed, but I can see him playing well again to price himself out of Pittsburgh. And if that's the case, I hope the guy we drafted later in the draft is someone that can step in next year. This year be like his project year, and then boom, he comes in and takes over that spot next year. But yeah, this line right now, that would be my starting five: Jones, Siamalu, Frazier, Daniels, Fatanu, and just rock and roll that from day one. Let them build that chemistry and go from there. Deal with the growing pains with the two rookies. It's going to happen. I'd rather have
Mm-hmm.
them deal with the issues out there learning, growing, than having to deal with like two career backups trying to, be the two weakest links on that line.
Well, they're already ahead. They're already light years ahead of the two guys. I can't even think who they were. I thought one of them was Daniels a couple seasons ago, but in
No,
preseason when they played and they were blocking each other.
what Daniels was one of those guys. He
Yeah,
was
we had
just
two offensive linemen literally blocking each other,
yeah,
and I said, "This is bad." So I think just by default that the two guys we have coming in as rookies are already better than them. Whoever that was, it was embarrassing. It was bad. They were blocking each other, Mike.
I know,
They were
I know.
blocking each other. But I guess the big question is this: you want to talk Steeler offense? We got like new life breathed into the idea of one of these San Francisco wide
Yeah,
receivers. Please tell me what's going on.
I don't know. I saw the same report. I think you saw as well. Like it's like, well, either Ayuk or Ayuk and Samuels are both in play for the Steelers. At this
Right.
point, I don't want either one of them. I want just give me Cortland Sutton. I think I would take a little bit less production, but less drama and headaches because we're seeing IU. He's like, Sam Fran, I thought you said y'all wanted me. You don't want to trade me. Like you're the one who keeps saying you want to get traded. The more and more this drags on, the more and more Ayuk just keeps acting weird and weird. It'd be like another Antonio Brown situation coming on with this guy. Just I don't know. That's just the
Like,
vibe I'm
who's the
getting.
most productive out of all three of those guys?
Ayuk, Ayuk by far,
I say they get him.
and just deal with it. Ooh,
Why not?
hey, we saw Tomlin kept AB on under wraps for what 8 years here.
Well, that's what they say. I mean,
I think he can keep Ayuk under under wraps for a couple years. But
to
I'm just
me,
thinking, yeah, I
it
was
seemed
just
to me
thinking like
like
long term
Debo Samuel
financially.
was that guy initially. They seemed to me like he was kind of
Yeah,
the, the
I'd rather have Ayuk. He's younger and better,
right.
and he would be a true number one. You get George as a number two.
So what you're saying is
Roman Wilson's
it would be
settles in
more
at the slot.
beneficial to go with somebody like Cortland Sutton than either of these two San Francisco wide receivers in the the big picture because it
Yeah,
seems that these guys have had their issues.
I think Sutton's just a better all round receiver than Debo Samuel. Debo Samuel's like that gadget guy. You line him up running back, returner, wide receiver. I think Sutton's a better route runner, better overall receiver than Debo. But Ayuk is better than Sutton. But with Ayuk, it's looking like you get a little bit of a more of a diva head case type.
Hmm.
At
It's
least
interesting.
that's just the way he's coming across right now in some of these media things or some of this like contract negotiation and like the videos that he's putting out. It like his first 3 years, he was I never saw anything like this from him. Now it's coming out, and is that like a sign to come, or is he just trying to do this to get himself out of San Fran? Really doesn't like it there, so who knows?
I mean, say what we will about
But talent wise, I'll take him.
the Antonio Brown experiment, but we've had other people. We've had Juju was a bit of a bit of this, and this
Yeah,
guy was a bit of that, and Le'Veon, and just everything. And one thing that does, what I noticed is those teams with those guys aren't championship teams. Those teams don't get it done. Those teams fall
yep,
they're susceptible
they fall
to
short.
they're susceptible to the drama, the all the issues in the locker room. So you got to ask yourself, do you want the best possible player? Which I do. I want Ayuk of those
Yeah,
three. But with that being said, every single guy that we've had in that situation on his team has led to as great as they've
yeah,
been. Come on, he's,
yeah,
you could argue Antonio Brown was one of the best ever, and you could argue this and you could argue that. But at the end of the day, those teams were not able to get it done.
yeah,
Those teams are they, you got to have a tight bond with the people around you that you work with. And it's anywhere you work. If you have a bond with the people around you, your results turn
yeah,
out better.
yeah. And like I heard Jack Ham once say, winning breeds chemistry. That's how you get the good chemistry. But in there too, like you can win and you can't if you have people that are acting crazy, you're not going to have that good chemistry either. But I'm not saying Ayuk is that head case bad guy. To me, just this past couple weeks, I'm getting that vibe from him. I could
I
be
haven't
wrong.
seen it during the play, during
Me either.
seasons,
Me either.
and that's a
No,
plus.
during on the field, no. Ayuk is all business, 100% of the time. Just like I said, this past couple weeks,
And
I
that's
just
all
been
that
getting that
matters to
vibe
me.
from him. Yeah, me too. It could just be a me thing, growing sour because I just want this resolved one way or the other. Are we getting Ayuk or is he going to the Commanders or what? I just want that number two position or that other receiver opposite pick and settled.
I mean, and even set the coach a pitcher or
Yeah, I
you
know,
know.
right? You that like endears me to him, but then all this other stuff that he's been posting is like, oh, come on, dude, don't handle your business that way. But you know what? If it works out for you, hell yeah, dude, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Got to do what you got to do in this league to get your money because you're only in it for a short amount of time.
I mean, realistically, we could, I mean, between these three guys, I think that Cortland Sutton is probably the most obtainable.
Yeah,
Who do you think is the least obtainable of the three?
Ayuk.
Ayuk?
They're gonna want so much for him. and he's going to want that new contract. And with the price of these receivers going up, and you got George contract coming up in a couple years, or like next year, Fryermuth contract coming up as well. Eh, I'd rather, for me, he's going to be the hardest one to get just because everything involved. Because
I had
you might have to give up a first round this year or next.
I had this game ready for Derpy because he's a big fan of that 2008 2009 Super Bowl team. So I'm just gonna play with you. I
All
mean,
right.
I wanted to play last week with him, and he wasn't here.
Well, oh, hold on, real quick.
Yeah.
Breaking news on the board. We got the Buccos lineup today. McCutcheon, Reynolds, Cruz, Telez, Gonzalez, Hayes, Connor Joe, Sawinski, and Delay. Like Brian said, not the typical Sunday lineup. And a must-win game. I like it.
Well, that is the typical Sunday lineup. You got Delay. You got he's your ninth string catcher.
Yeah.
You have Luis Ortiz, who's a bullpen pitcher.
Oh, he's pitching. Yeah, that's right. I don't know. You got
Jack
Cutcrow.
Sawinski's batting ninth, I'm sure. I don't know. But look at that. Look at the meat
Nick,
right in the middle. Look at
yeah,
the Reynolds, Cruz, Telez, and Gonzalez, I guess.
and Hayes.
McCutcheon. Hey, I don't know.
I see. I like that. See, we needed this info when you were happy and excited about the Buccos.
Well, I mean, they're facing the righty, so of course you're going to be facing you're
Yeah,
getting Jack Sawinski. You're getting, you're
yeah.
going to get some of the lefties, but again, going with your nine string catcher, that's. But you know what? Joey Barter will be back real soon. Thank you, Brian. Good morning.
Like either we go with what Delay or who else is catching Grandel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's two sides of
All right.
two
So
sides
this
of the
game,
same
I
coin.
had set up for Derpy,
Okay,
and he was here. Believe
he
it or not, he was
was
here.
he was here. I saw him, and then he vanished
The
into the
moment we
night.
went live, he disappeared. So I don't know. Listen, I got to talk to him. He's got things going on.
I hope everything's going well with the
So this
derp.
is the game I was going to play with Derpy, and I'm going to play with you instead. He was a big fan of that 08-09 Steeler team that won the Super Bowl, the year they beat the Cardinals in Tampa Bay. I'm going to give you the first name of the position of the player. You tell me the last name. Now, this sounds easy,
But it's not.
so let's give it a go. On offense, I'll start Ben. Then you say the last name.
Roethlisberger,
Willie
Cologne.
Parker.
Oh, Willie Parker,
Hines.
Ward,
Santonio.
Holmes,
Nate.
Washington,
Heath.
Miller,
All right, now down to the offensive line. Max.
Starks,
Matt.
Filer,
No. Chris.
Kimoyatu,
Justin. Darnell.
Justin Pugh, Darnell Wright.
This is your offensive line. This is
Darnell.
why I wanted Derby to play. See, it's not easy, is it?
Wow.
Defense is easy.
Justin Hartwig. Justin Hartwig.
Yes, is your center. Let me give you the names of the guys on defense. It's a lot easier.
Oh,
Casey.
yeah. Hampton. Big
Brett.
snaps. Kiesel Diesel.
Aaron.
Smith.
James.
Harrison.
Lamar.
Woodley.
Larry.
Foot.
Lawrence.
Timmons.
Ike.
Taylor. She looks like Taylor, baby.
Bryant.
McFadden, baby.
Troy.
Halamalu.
And Ryan.
Clark.
So, yes, you see the defensive side is easy. Mike,
Yeah.
there's about 6 guys, 6 of the 11 on the offensive side. And this is 2 days now, 2 days. One day last week, I told Derpy, and then today I was going to do it with him. But
Go back through that offensive line. I got to redeem myself here.
So there's Matt, Chris, Justin, Darnell, and Max.
Wow. I'm at a loss. Max Starks, Justin Hartwig, Chris. It was a Kimoyatu. Was he still here? Yeah. Who was what was the other guard position?
Hold on a sec. Keep thinking aloud. I'm trying to pull.
Okay.
I'm pulling.
Okay. No, I was trying to remember this line because it was one of the worst lines in the league. Jeez Louise. Starks, Darnell, Darn. I don't. The only Darnell I know is Darnell Washington.
Well, it wasn't him.
Yeah, I know, right? He was like a young kid getting ready to. God, for Pee Wee. Um,
All right. So who do you got, Mike? You got Justin Hartwig.
yeah,
You got
Max Starks,
Max Starks,
Chris Kimoyatu.
Chris Kimayatu, Darnell Stapleton, the guard.
What?
Darnell Stapleton is the
Wow.
guard. And who's the other name?
The other tackle,
Chris, no. Justin, no. Matt. Who was Matt?
Matt. The only Matt I remember is Matt Filer,
Give me a second.
but I don't think he was on that team. He's a interior offensive lineman.
All right. I got to go into a different page. It's this whole thing
Okay.
here. Let's see.
Oh, this is killing me.
So the offensive line, where are we at? See on here on the official page, it's Matt Spaeth anyway. Matt
Matt
Spaeth.
Spaeth, he's a tight end.
I know he is, but
Yeah.
what I'm telling you is the offensive line was as those five names. Meanwhile, it left the right tackle off, which was Willie Colon.
Yeah, Willie Colon, Darnell Stapleton, Hartwig, Kimuatu,
You know,
Max.
okay, you know what I think it is because there was two Willies on offense. They only have one Willie listed.
Yeah.
Remember initially you said Willie Colon and you said wait
Yeah.
no
You
Willie
said
Parker.
no.
So there's
Yeah.
listen. So I'm looking at it now. I was trying to figure out what the hell's wrong. So there was
Yeah.
10 names listed, and they only had Willie marked once, probably for this reason. But Willie
Yeah.
Colon and Willie Parker. But yes, your offensive line it is
Yeah.
as this: Max Starks, Chris Kiyomatu, Justin Hartwig, Darnell Stapleton, and Willie Colon. That's your five. Matt Spaeth at one of the tight ends. I guess Heath would be
Yeah.
the other. But those are the guys that I'm looking for.
Yeah. And then like Darnell Stapleton was a rookie that year.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go, Derpy. There's your game.
Yeah, Derpy, where were you?
Yeah, I'm looking at it because there's 10 names. There's no second Willie. So that's what the deal was here. So let's try this one more time, Mike. Ben,
Roethlisberger,
Willie,
Parker,
Hines,
Ward,
Antonio,
Holmes, MVP,
Nate,
Washington,
Heath,
Miller,
Matt,
Spaeth,
Chris,
Kimoyatu,
Justin,
Hartwig,
Darnell, and Max.
Stapleton, and Max Starks.
And the other Willie, I guess we could say.
Well, the Cologne.
So there you go, Derpy. There's your game. I put this together for you. I thought you'd have a
Darnell
lot
Stapleton.
of fun.
He was a sixth round rookie from my God, Rutgers.
I was gonna have Derpy like hold on one sec. Brian on the board says, "What dare you her tryouts to fill Derpy's spot? I even put a dying battery in my smoke alarm." I was gonna shrink his brain. I was gonna have him well, first of all, I was gonna have him go take that battery out because that would have made me lose my mind if I was having a conversation with Derpy and that thing was going off. So I was gonna have him go take the battery out. Then I was gonna have him lay on his couch and I was gonna have him talk. And we were gonna dissect what's wrong with Derpy and fix his problems. Because Derpy has some issues. But if that fails, then the tryout post word will be out on the wall in the hallway before you know it. So, but no, I got to talk to Derpy. I got to talk to him. Mike, but let's move on. The Penguins, another Penguin. We mentioned yesterday, but Patrick Hornquist, Mike, he also gets another ring as well.
Yeah, I saw that scouting department.
He is the scout department consultant for the Florida Panthers. He gets another ring. Good for him.
Heck yeah. Fun bit of trivia about Hornquist. He was Sidney Crosby was the first overall pick in his draft. Patrick Hornquist was the last player picked in that Sidney Crosby draft.
I like it.
I like it.
Also, the Oilers fan, the Flasher fan, Kate.
Yeah.
Good news. Kate will be posing for Playboy.
Playboy
I didn't even know Playboy was still a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I thought you just go on OnlyFans and make your own account. Go on Pornhub or something. Put it out there. Get the money yourself.
So Flashing Kate, though, will be, Mike, she'll be naked and letting everyone see. So
my God, it feels like the 1990s all over again.
Yeah.
The Florida Panthers were in the Stanley Cup playoffs that they shouldn't have been in, and then
Playboys
we got
around.
people going into Playboy.
That used to be the thing, man. If you got
I
into Playboy, you were the
oh you
shit.
were oh yeah you were part of pop culture. Now it's just like
Also, Mike, the NBA draft starts tonight. It is tonight and tomorrow. I do know that there are a couple guys in Pitt that should be in
yeah I
this
was gonna
draft.
say yeah.
One guy should be up real early, possible first round, but we will wait and see. The draft is tonight, starts tonight. You want to check that out. But Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
the two the2wnsers.com. Over there we have the merchandise store, freshly updated. We have all of our links are Ryan and I's social media. We got the application over there for Derby's replacement. And we got the blog all at the2wnsers.com. And remember, 9.99 the first minute, 99 cents every additional minute to hear this voice. Yeah, the2wnsers.com.
You can take the microphone out of your mouth now,
No, I
please.
just want to hold it close like this, get it all nice and muffly and scruffly. Yeah.
All right, so we have the trivia question of the day. This question expands across the Major League Baseball League, the National Basketball Association, and the National Hockey League. It has direct connection to what just happened and what was about to happen in the NHL. Here we go. Here's the question of the day. The three leagues that have best of series, which excludes the NFL, of course. Between the NHL, the MLB, and the NBA, who have best of 7 series, records of teams trailing 0 to 3, down 3 games to none in those 3 leagues in their history. One of the leagues, it's happened 4 times. Another one of those leagues, it happened 1 time. And in the third league, it happened 0 times. So I'm talking about an 0-3 comeback.
Yeah.
You're down 3 games to none in a series. In those 3 particular leagues, the MLB, the NBA, and the NHL, in one of them, it happened 4 times where a team was able to come back out of 207 chances. Another, you know what? I'm not going to get that far because it might give it away. One team, it happened 4 times in one league, 1 time in another league,
Yeah.
and 0 times in the third league. I want to know which league it never, ever, ever, ever happened in. There's never been a team down 3 games to none and was able to come back and win a series. Between the MLB, the NHL, and the NBA, think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The brand new show that we do live every single day, we take and we upload over in Spotify in podcast form at 8 o'clock p.m. If you missed the show, maybe you just rather listen to the podcast or, whatever you're doing. You could be out and about and put your earbuds in or even in the car, plug it in. You could always listen to the Two Dumb Yinzers podcast on Spotify. Check it out. And Brian on the board's already saying the NBA. Interesting. So between the NHL, the Major League Baseball League, and the NBA, all 3 have best of 7 series. I'm looking for the league that never had a team down 3 games to none in its championship series and come back to win. One of the leagues that happened 4 times. One of the leagues that happened 1 time. And one of the leagues that happened 0. Say what you will, these are all very, very small amounts. It happened 4 times in one league, 1 time in another, and 0 in another. So, Mike, the question of the day is which one of those 3 leagues has never had a team down 3 games to none and come back to win the championship? Brian says the NBA. What do you think?
I'm gonna go with the MLB. Yeah, MLB.
You just think of that. Nobody ever has come back from it
Yeah.
down from a 30. Wow. Okay. So, Mike, you're going to take the majors.
Yeah.
So, Brian on the board got the NBA. You got the majors. I'm going to come out right off the top and say the NHL is the league that has 4. So, one of you guys are right. The NHL, it happened 4 different times. It was the Kings, the Flyers, the Islanders, and the Leafs. They were all teams that were able to come back from 3 games to none series to win. Not necessarily in the okay, so yeah, so that's the NHL. So now between the MLB and NBA, one has one and the other has zero. Question of the day: between the NHL, MLB, and NBA, teams that play best of 7 series with records of being down 0-3. Which team has never, ever, 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 ever had a team come back and win that series? Mike says the majors. I'm sorry, Brian says the NBA. The correct answer is the NBA. 0 and 157.
Damn.
157 times a team has been down 3 games to none, and none have they ever came back to win. The majors, one time. It's happened in 39 chances, which was the Boston Red Sox was able to do it one time. Came back from down 3-0 to win. The NBA is the correct answer.
Damn.
Interesting, man.
Yeah.
Just crazy that once you get down that far, it's curtains, you know? It was 4 out of 207 for the NHL.
Ooh.
So like right around 400 times that happened, Mike.
Yeah.
5 times it ever worked for that team that's been down.
Yeah, I know it happened against the Penguins. I know we were up 3-0 on a team. I think it was the Islanders back in the day.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
What do you got, Mike?
Oh God. Oh my God. I actually had to. Oh yes, today is the 23-year anniversary of Lloyd McClendon stealing first base.
Okay.
I That was one of the all-time greatest manager umpire, interactions of all time. I remember watching that happen live, and I thought it was the greatest thing ever. And I still think it's the greatest thing ever. Lloyd McClendon is my all-time favorite Pirate manager.
That was my favorite stolen base ever, especially by a Pirate. Brian on the board says they had that stat during Game 7 of the NHL Finals. The thing about this, I knew it would be okay because Mike, he's like an infant. He goes to bed at 6 in the evening, so
I have to wake up
I'm pretty sure he didn't see that.
The sad thing is, I saw it, I read it. I think I have a screenshot in my phone, and I forgot.
Yeah.
Who had the 0 losses. I don't think it's I'm an infant. It might be the dementia setting in, one of the two.
Also, Mike, I did see yesterday, Triple H mentioned, he said that the WWE now, when they go over to the Netflix, PG is over. They're going to back to edgier content, maybe be seeing blood and all those fun things that we love about the WWE that we've all grown to love here. Mike, are you looking forward in a sense? I mean, I'm not looking forward to going to apps to watch wrestling if that's the case, but the fact that they could go back and do all the things that they used to do when wrestling was good, is this a plus for you personally?
Some of it, yeah. Like I don't like a lot of blood in wrestling. I hate those hardcore matches. Never a big fan of ECW because of that. I think if you're gonna bleed, do it like how Bret Hart and Stone Cold did. Have it make sense. If it happens natural, it happens natural. But bleed to bleed, no. But the swearing, cool. I want to hear that because you get that raw emotion.
Again, because we're adults, and I mean, this is
I want to. And like the women now, like I think there's so much better wrestlers than they were before. They don't have to come out there and have bra and panty matches, but they can have
so far you badmouth everything that was good about wrestling.
More innuendo, like the Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio stuff that's going on now. They can take it a little step further now. Yeah. So
and you know what? Listen, I haven't watched too much wrestling, but I do know this. This is all ployed to get Rhea Ripley the belt back. I promise you.
It is. Yeah, those two are gonna feud.
I'm not even watching it, but I can tell you from what I'm seeing that this is what's going on.
And there's gonna happen something with that faction that Dom's a part of and everything. Yeah, because Finn Balor's stealing Alexa Bliss's or not Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan's hotel room key. The only reason I know all this stuff is because of Twitter as well. I haven't sat down and watched wrestling in a long time. Last thing I
With
watched
that
was WrestleMania.
with
And
that being
see,
said, I'm excited. I'm excited that they're
me
going to finally
too.
be adult. It's going to be adult in a way,
Yeah.
and rated R, not in the sense that it's an adult, for
Yeah, that's like a little like PG
yeah.
13 ish,
So because we're not
Yeah.
fucking five, and
Yeah, hey, but they're not going to go take it to where it was in the 90s because you have the kids there now and they're making so much more money now in the in this era than they did in the
they
Attitude
have no
Era.
reason to go with where they did in the '90s. They had competition in the '90s.
Yeah, and now that AEW is not competition.
Yeah, they sell hot dogs and burgers out of Long John Silver's, right? Anyway, uh, I'm excited about that. Maybe that'll pull me back in, but I do know that was announced
Yeah,
by Triple H yesterday. It's going
yeah,
to
I saw
be
that.
going
Yeah.
rated R, so I like that. I dig. Mike, it gives me a little bit more of a reason to watch it as an adult, I guess. Like anything else.
No, I got nothing of that. My Lloyd McClendon story was my big final send off for the day.
I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out with us, coming and checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. We certainly wouldn't do it without you. I do want to thank everybody on the board. You guys always keep things interesting. We thank you as well. Mike, if that's it for you, man, speak now,
That's
forever
all
hold
I
your peace,
got.
because I
That's
got to get
all I
ready for this
got.
Pirate game. Buccos come on in less than an hour, try to win this series over the Reds. It is tied one game apiece. We got Luis Ortiz on the hill. We're going to be going up against Graham Ashcroft. I hope that we could win, Mike. If we could win this game, we'll be back. We'll be
Oh,
39-41 heading into the day off, and then going down to Atlanta. Mike, they play the 81st game of the year. Real quick, Atlanta stadiums, it's called something now, and then it was called Turner Field. What was Atlanta Stadium when we played them in the early 90s? What was the name of that baseball field? Mike, quick trivia just to wrap it up.
I only remember as Turner Field.
Before Turner Field, it was Fulton County Stadium. Fulton
Oh,
County
that's right.
Stadium.
Yeah.
But we will be heading back down into Atlanta on Thursday or on Friday night. So let's hope Pirates can get a win today. Besides for that, not too much else going on in sports, Mike. The Fever do play tomorrow night, so we'll talk a little bit more about that. Getting ready for their game against the Seattle Storm, I believe is who they play. Caitlin Clark and company. But besides for that, Mike, we'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to talk about all these
Yes,
things
yes.
and more. For Mike from the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, myself, the Two Dumb Yinzers, everybody have a great day. Have a great hump day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye bye. Bye bye.